jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. A-Side official. No negotiations needed, period. You already know. WCS the first in the building. A big shout out to all of those individuals who's inbound. Hit the like button on your way in, man. Y'all are listening to what I say. See me engage in the chat. But won't even hit the like button. I'm not here to freaking counsel grown adults. Because voluntarily you select to hear what I got to say, right? So if you hear, you hanging out, whether you subscribe to the channel or not, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Let's get down to the tale of two sides for Catterall win over Regis and Khamzat Chimaev news about him breaking Robert Whitaker's jaw via a rear naked submission. When I tell you that shit is crazy, a rear naked submission means this guy has a hell of a squeeze. UFC 308 hosted a middleweight clash between former champion Robert Whitaker and Khamzat Chimaev. It didn't last that long. It was scheduled for five-minute rounds. But if you know how these two fighters are, you know Whitaker has been at the top of the hierarchy before, earning the middleweight championship, and Khamzat Chimaev, once a welterweight, has been trying to climb that ladder to get his championship prominence. Along the way, he has some inactivity, injuries, and so forth. So he came in there and fought finally, you know, at 185. He had his shot at Robert Whitaker. And the fight, for as long as it lasted on the feet, those who understand Chimaev and his fighting style knew that he was going to level change at one point in time and take Whitaker to the canvas. And that's exactly what he did. It wasn't anything that was, you know, that you would say, oh man, you know, like he suplexed him or slammed him and then like that. He level changed, you know, got in and on a single leg, took him down, and started to work from there. When he began to work for that submission, there was a scramble before that happened, where Chimaev had his hooks in, one hook, and then two hooks, and it looked like he was going to flatten Robert Whitaker out, which would have been bad because the Chimaev's top pressure is heavy, very heavy top pressure. I mean, don't nobody want, unless you have been at the highest point of competition with IBJJF or, you know, in Abu Dhabi, ADCC, or you competed, you're not too much worried about being on bottom when it comes to Chimaev's pressure. But in this particular case, Whitaker did what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? His rotations, transitions, they work for a small window until Chimaev started to work the actual choke. And anybody who's seen the fight, seeing that he didn't really have it locked under the jaw. Just like Nurmagomedov, Khabib Nurmagomedov, when he was choking out Conor McGregor. He didn't have it on all the way nice and snug up under the chin. Chimaev commenced to what could be considered a crank. You know what I'm saying? A neck crank or what have you. And Robert Whitaker ended up tapping very, very quickly. And for those of us that was watching, we was like, dang, he didn't even have the choke all the way on the chin. But for those who actually pay attention, know that it's a lot of bad things can happen from someone cranking on your jaw, especially if they have an incredible grip and squeeze. And that's exactly what Chimaev had. And he squeezed Whitaker like a python, a constrictor. Unbelievable squeeze. And this is what it really looked like with his jaw. This man broke Robert Whitaker's front piece of his jaw and dislocated his jaw along with those teeth that was attached to it. That is a strong grip, people. That just goes to show you, just because you hear certain people say rear naked choke, every rear naked choke ain't the same. Rear naked choke can be anything from the rear that, however they select to choke, it can be with the forearm, or they can have it up under your chin, have it in the crease of it all depends on who they are, who the fighter is that's getting choked. But obviously Whitaker, they always say tuck your chin, right? In this case with Chimaev, it wouldn't have been a good idea for people to look at this and say, well, you don't want to tuck your chin against Chimaev because he got a hell of a squeeze. I'm not saying everybody's chin or jaw is going to crack like this, you know what I'm saying? But for him to do that to Robert Whitaker and break his jaw and force that man to have surgery, that is a brutal freaking break right there. That's brutal, yo. You know what I'm saying? That's why I mess with MMA. My mentality is different when it comes, for people whining about certain things that go on boxing, because in freaking mixed martial arts, man, this shit like this can happen. You find yourself in severe pain once that adrenaline starts to drop and your jaw is broken, and you got to go get immediate surgery on that shit. You know what I'm saying? This was just cranking the face that he did that with his forearm. And you have to know what you're doing to basically transition to a choke like that and be able to execute it properly. I'm going to take this down, though. It's not something people want to watch. But I hope the best for Robert Whitaker, for real. I hope the best for him. I want to get to Jack Catterall situation and what I deem to be a bit, contradicting, how people react to certain fights. Okay. I want to play you something right quick from Tough Glove Boxing. I thought it made a lot of sense in what he was saying. He got straight to the point. It was a brutal freaking disclaimer, in my opinion, because when you get in boxing, you see certain fighters and they go through adversity for the first time real bad, and then they're doing everything that tells you like, oh man, so and so's not taking that fight very well, right? And then you have a fight that just went down with Catterall and Regis, where it's two sides that I'm getting at in this whole trifecta. I'm going to speak on Haney's response to Regis and Regis' response to losing to Catterall, and Catterall pretty much what he said post-fight tussle. All right. So let me turn this on with what Tough Glove said that made a lot of sense. And he was spot on, brutal, raw, uncut with Haney's response to Regis Prograis.
In June of 2023, Regis Prograis fought Zarella.
All right, here we go, people. So once again, this is TGB, Tough Glove Boxing. And I heard, he put up a short and, pretty much to give an overlay of this, right? Haney had a response to Regis' comments following his loss to Jack Catterall. He didn't take no shot at Haney, any of that. It's just what he said to Jack Catterall after the fight. You know what I'm saying? The comments, the flowers that he gave Jack Catterall. I'm not saying Regis is lying or capping or this, that, and that's what Regis said to his opponent. There's a lot that was going on through his mind where he felt that he was leaving boxing, going elsewhere to, try his hand in another combat sport. But Jack Catterall is the fighter who he was just in there with. Both fighters was able to earn a knockdown. Jack Catterall earning 2. But I'm going to get to Jack Catterall in a sense when it comes to the tale of two sides. So listen to TGB and what he had to say.
In June of 2023, Regis Pro Great fought Zarella. And I would argue that that was really one of the main times that he exposed his kryptonite, which is footwork, you understand, which Regis does not have. But recently, Devin Haney has come up with a tweet after the Jack Catterall defeat of the Rougarou saying that he ruined Regis Pro Great. Listen, I have to call cap and BS where I see it. Devin Haney has never ruined a fighter in his life. In fact, most of the big name fighters that he fought have went on to do very well. As far as it concerned with Regis Pro Great, I gave you the same credit I gave Teofimo Lopez for fighting Josh Taylor. These guys were past their prime. They've had their day in the sun. The way Regis Pro Great handled his defeat is a lesson that you should learn, sir. And I think rather than try to ish on the Rougarou, who I am a fan of, I think you should be focused 100% on making sure Ryan Garcia doesn't leave you face down, ass up in fight number 2. That's all I got to
say. Damn. You goddamn talking about flamethrowers next to a goddamn gas station now. Why did TGB have to go in so hard? But was he right though? Did he say some points that made sense? Because I felt like Devin Haney was being, he was being a bit. He wanted to quarrel over something that he feel he had some momentum in, like. This gave him a little bit more gas to talk some shit. And look, it doesn't take balls, but I find it just an opportune time for him to be petty. What TGB said, man, was absolutely correct. You should take, some of this of what Regis and what he's given off and how to handle a loss, vice how we've seen Haney handle the loss. He was right about that, right? Let me show you what the big deal is about on why Haney attempted to take jabs at Regis when he wasn't on the fight card. He wanted to do it from far. Devin Haney said, "I ruined Regis. And I beat him worse than Catterall. Regis just bitter." Okay? He said he don't have a chin. Bare knuckle fights aren't for him. He needs to become an amateur boxing coach. That's what Haney said to Regis. Once again, he said, Devin Haney, I ruined Regis. Next tweet. And I beat him worse than Catterall. Regis just bitter. He don't have a chin. Bare knuckle fights aren't for him. He needs to become an amateur boxing coach, USA Boxing. Now, why do you think that Devin Haney took shots at Regis? Why do you think that? Because Regis didn't mention Haney's name. But I'll show you why. I'll show you why. Let me share this with you right quick. So if you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? And you stroll up a little bit right here. This is what Regis had to say post-fight tussle. I think Jack is the best I fought, said Progress to the Zone after his loss tonight against Jack Catterall. I had my time in the sun. It's time to turn it over to him. Really good. Jack, I fought the best of them. You were the best so far. Once again, you were the best so far. Let me read that again. I think Jack is the best I fought, said Progress to the Zone after his loss tonight against Jack Catterall. I had my time in the sun. It's time to turn it over to him. Really good, Jack. I fought the best of them. You were the best so far. So I can see if Haney was saying this prior to, not going behind reactively to what Regis said, and then feel like you're bitter because he hit a nerve. That's not boxing. A lot of people say today that boxing has gotten soft, right? And I try my best to just react to certain situations that require my attention. That's worth it. And this required my attention. I thought Tough Glove Boxing, said something that made sense though on how to handle. Listen up, how to handle a fight. He said maybe you can learn something. And I absolutely agree that Devin, who has a lawsuit, they're taking Ryan Garcia to court after he was defeated and they had to change to a no contest. He hasn't been out here acting like he understands how to take a loss from Ryan Garcia. I mean, look, you really have no room to talk about Regis because Regis said, hey, Jack, you're the best I fought. He didn't say, hey, Jack, you're the best I fought. Haney tried, but I just didn't get this type of experience from him. He did not recognize you in the post-fight tussle. Remember, WCS brought it to you first. The post-fight tussle, Regis did not mention Devin Haney's name. He didn't take a jab at him. He didn't take a right hand. He didn't throw a left hand. He didn't throw a body, a hook, none of that. He's told Jack Catterall and gave him his bouquet of flowers that you're the best I fought. Now, it seems a little beyond emotional. It seems like you're feeling some type of way because you thought somehow, some way Regis was supposed to put your name up there, but yet he just had another fight. And the only thing he said after you beating him was that it was good that he found out about the weight because, they said Devin Haney weighed so much in their fight Regis, which is not even topic of discussion today. But it just feels like Haney wasn't getting no AT&T. So he had to reach out and touch Regis and tell him he ruined him. And another thing TGB said, Haney hasn't ruined nobody. Devin haven't ruined nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to take too much time on him because that's what they want. I would give him time if it was a little bit more, substance to go off of. But this is just a person from the outside who wasn't even in the equation, who said, this would be a good time to target Regis while he down. You know what I'm saying? And say, yeah, I beat him worse than Catterall. He just bitter. Okay. If he feels like that, and and that's the way you feel deep down inside, cool. But understand this, Devin. I mean, try not to collapse or faint. Putting too much thought in this. To Regis Progress. I thought he did well in the first half of the fight. I felt like Regis was on a mission. He looked better than he did in the first half of the Haney fight. And I gave him all the credit in the world for moving, being defensively accountable, not taking less, taking little punishment. Hand speed looks sharp. But yet Catterall made the adjustments mid-fight. He did. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he hit Regis with the first left hand and he attempted to go back to the well. The well was dry until the back end of the fight. Early in that fight, the tale of two sides. I want to tell you the tale of two sides, right? What I don't see, and salute to Catterall, what I don't see or hear is people talking about how Catterall was running in the fight. If you know, Shakur Stevenson was criticized heavily for somewhat doing the same thing, but I thought Catterall did even worse than what Shakur Stevenson did in Edwin De Los Santos. I mean, it was certain parts where Catterall was actually retreating, y'all. And nobody's talking about any of that shit. But that's a tale of two sides, right? But yet, in the win, Catterall beating Regis, he did come on in the second half of the fight and make it very interesting and entertaining, earning 2 knockdowns. He did make the adjustments. He's collected the data. He made the adjustments. People don't want to mention the fact that Regis visibly was injured. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, you know, what I saw in Regis that he should retire from boxing just yet. I don't think so. You know, that was for the WBO International. It's hard for me to say who Regis will beat. That's in, you know, one of the championship slots. But boxing IQ wise, both fighters had that. Both fighters exemplified boxing IQ. Early on, it just seems like Regis Prograis showed the higher threat level. And the more passive aggressive fighter was Jack Catterall. He was A6. Catterall was A6, man. Until Regis started to slow down, then he say, okay, I'm going to fight. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong, but the tell of two sides, when Shakur Stevenson did it, it was running. But Catterall do it, it's called what? A trend that we're hearing. It's called being smart. Y'all see the trend? Depending on certain fighters that's basically lying in wait and trying to be counter punchers, they're considered disciplined. They're considered poised. They're considered smart fighters. When Madrimov went in there and he barely wanted to even throw a shot, he was called and deemed disciplined. You know what I'm saying? The tell of two sides is a mother, right? Depending on who looking at the fight, they would have criticized the shit out of that instead of praising it. I just don't understand where all the freaking compliments come in at when the fighter was obviously, you know, he was doing more than boxing off the back foot. This dude was on a unicycle. This dude was pedaling all around that mud like he was in a circus. And then Regis, you know, end up, you know, being fatigued early in the fight. And that's when Catterall came in. You know, he started to land his shots, be more effective with the combination, say, okay, now I can settle in, you know, and stay in the pocket a little bit longer for the rest of the fight. If Regis Prograis would have had a better gas tank, and being able to let his hands go a bit more like he did in the first half of the fight, that would have been interesting. If he would have disallowed Jack Catterall to earn those knockdowns, the fight would have been extremely interesting. But it was already a narrow margin when Regis earned the knockdown, right? And then he somewhat started to tire, and Jack Catterall won 2 rounds in a row, and Regis never really was able to take the momentum back. So we've seen what happened. I'm not so much a Jack Catterall fan, but I will say this, going to the second side of the tale, Jack Catterall wants Teofimo Lopez. Yes. This will not become a Jack Catterall fan. Jack Catterall wants the current WBO super lightweight champion, Teofimo Lopez. He wants to put Teo in his inventory of his box rec. He wants to have that contract signed. And I think that's a good fight stylistically, don't you? I think that's a very solid fight, yo. Appropriately speaking, I think Jack Catterall and Teofimo Lopez match up very well. And people, let's understand they have common opponents. You know what I'm saying? They have common opponents, don't they? I mean, let's be honest. At the end of the day, and at the rise in the morning, Jack Catterall beat Josh Taylor before Teofimo did, but he just didn't get the nod. They have a common opponent, Josh Taylor. Teofimo beat him. Catterall didn't get the nod. Could have been boxing politics? Possibly. But when we want to talk about Teofimo Lopez and Jack Catterall and their styles matching up real nice, like a bow tie on a tux, we want to see this dance. I don't know if Teo will accept the challenge from Catterall. He seems to be on some other BS as always, and we'll get to that. But I do hope that Catterall gets his opportunity because he has fought a common opponent, so it's not like Catterall is not on Teo's level. But you know, for him, when it comes to championships, of course, yeah, Teofimo is a 2-division champion and undisputed in the franchise era at lightweight. So he's accomplished more, 2-division lineal. So whether he selects to fight Jack Catterall, do the people want to see Jack Catterall? You know what I'm saying? Look, they can't sit up here and say, well, you know, Teo can't even mention this. Oh, well, you got dropped by freaking Regis Prograis. I would have dusted him. Well, you never dusted him. You never fought him. Regis fought Josh Taylor before Catterall or Teofimo Lopez. So you can't shit on freaking Regis and say, oh, you got dropped by Regis after he coming off a loss with Devin Haney. You can't do that. Because Teo's been down several times. So that shouldn't be a blemish on whether Teo decides to fight Jack Catterall or not. You know what I'm saying? Both of them been on the canvas. Teo has a loss already. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. I mean, it will be a very good fight. But that's all I'm saying. When you look at these right here, the scores was 117, 108, 116, 109, 116, 109. Prograis' defeat could end his career. He didn't make a retirement announcement, but it's believed that he might choose to retire. I think he should stay with it, to be honest. I think he should stay with it. I think he has, 2 or 3 more fights in him with some competition that's up there. Real talk. Shakur Stevenson praised Jack Catterall for his hit or not get hit performance against Regis Prograis. You know what I'm saying? I don't find that out of pocket for Shakur to praise him for that because that's how he fought. That's how he fights. Hit or not get hit styles. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes not getting hit and inactivity inside the ring, it discourages fight fans. It causes them to be disinterested and have a damn bad attitude about the shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all I'm putting out there. But let's go right quick to what Jack Catterall had to say about him wanting to fight Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? The article reads, Jack Catterall is ready for a world title shot next against WBO light welterweight champion Teofimo Lopez after beating WBA, WBC 140-pound champion Regis Prograis on Saturday night in Manchester. Catterall said he'll fight Teofimo in Manchester. Okay. Teofimo's immediate plans aren't clear. He's having the promotion problems with Top Rank. Whether he stays or leaves the company, he could be moving up to 147 in search of a bigger fight. Catterall would not be what Teofimo considers a well-paying fight. Matchroom Eddie Hearn would also like to match a fight between Catterall and Teofimo, but he admits that better options is to face the winner of the December 7th fight between IBF light welterweight champion Liam Parle and Richardson Hitchens. Hearn promotes both fighters, so it should be easy to set a fight up between the winner and Catterall. That's up to Teofimo, but that's an option for a fight. There's talk of him going to 147, said Jack Catterall during the post-fight tussle. When asked if he'd like to challenge Teofimo for the WBO light welterweight title next. Listen, we'll love that fight in Manchester, New York. So who knows, said Catterall. Teofimo has been calling out Terrence Crawford, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney. Those are the matchups that he's hoping to get. Catterall isn't as popular as any of those guys right now, and he might not ever be. We should get ordered to fight Teofimo Lopez as well. I think it's a great fight. Obviously, the Parle Hitchens one is probably more realistic, and we'll see what happens December 7th, said Eddie Hearns to the Stomping Grounds about wanting Teofimo for Catterall's next fight. Jack Catterall needs that shot at the world title. He may be the best at 140, a fantastic fighter. Within 11 months, he'll headline in Liverpool against Linares, in Leeds against Josh Taylor, and Progress in Manchester. So look, I mean, let's see how it all goes down for Jack Catterall, man. They did make some solid points about some of the bigger names. Terrence Crawford is a far-fetched for T.O. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia is a far-fetched for T.O. And Devin Haney is the primary player that should be, at the table trying his damnness to get a fight with freaking rematch with Ryan Garcia. That is the fighter that has the backstory. That's all the information, all the damn promo that you need. It'll be a hell of an easy route for these two to have a presser this time. Absolutely so easy, man. It's just so much content there. So much has went on between both fighters that they have so many rounds in the chamber, or rounds in the mag, so to speak. It's too many rounds in the mag for both fighters. Of course, Devin, he can come from the, to holster and talk about, Ryan Garcia and all the shit he pulled off in the first fight and him popping dirty and everything else. And then Ryan can just go off the braggadociousness that he has every right on how he performed in the ring, how it all played out, and how Devin handled it post-fight. But I mean, this is what you dream about when you talk about free promo for a pair of fighters that already have one fight between them. And in this case, outside of the traditional, it wasn't a draw. It ended up being a controversial no contest based off the original decision that Ryan Garcia won a decision. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, this fight has everything. Now, if it happens that way, who knows? But for Catterall, I'm not sure he's going to get no Teofimo fight because T.O. has been on here, bitching and complaining and trying to, go on a pity parade that he hasn't been paid over $1 million in his career. You know what I'm saying? All that talk, he hasn't been paid $1 million in his career. And I'm saying, damn, maybe you should have been focused on that than being the chatterbox of controversy. Maybe you should have been focused on trying to get with the opponents to take you serious. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Get familiar with some of the opposition that you think would be an attractive fight to the boxing fans. Because right now, you know, when it comes to Catterall, he has a hard play winning Teofimo over for a fight. That's a hard play, bro. It don't matter if y'all have Josh Taylor's coming upon. It's a hard play for anybody to just give you the check mark and say, yeah, Teo, you should fight Catterall. So I'm not even gonna get hyped up about that. I can't. Now, him fighting Liam Parle, Regis and Hitchens, the winner of that, Hitchens is saying, you know, hey, he won't be fighting Liam Parle because Hitchens say he's gonna win that fight. When you want to talk about a slinky, that fight right there is a slinky, boy. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all don't know what a slinky is, but look it up online. That fight right there between Liam Parle and Richard Hitchens is a slinky. Real talk. From both sides, we don't know how this shit gonna turn out. It's a slinky type of fight. But, you know, I'm not gonna talk too much about that. I like, you know, both fighters. And Catterall, he's gonna have to, in my opinion, he's gonna have to wait to see the winner of that. You know what I'm saying? Because Eddie Hearns just said, hey, I can make that fight. That's an easy fight for him to make. Now, as far as the Teofimo situation, let me put this out there. And hopefully my speech pattern is clear enough for people to collect data. Teofimo Lopez, of course, you already know he has composed a racial diatribe towards, you know, in my opinion, a black fighter and black people when it comes to bananas and stuff, right? He said whichever one gets to the banana first, right? Out of all freaking, you know, analogies he could have used, he used that. He wanted to compose that. He wanted to be the author of controversy. He wanted motherfuckers to goddamn tune in. You know what I'm saying? T.O. wanted to say something so controversial to go over the top of Ryan Garcia. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go over the top of Ryan Garcia because Ryan, yeah, so many people wanted to talk to him. They was goddamn so much backlash for him dropping the N-word. But see, Teofimo Lopez, being in his 20s, you have to look at the things that we don't see. Something internal is saying, you know what? I have to just go for I have to go for the juggler. He can't say that black fight fans wasn't supporting him. He can't say that. I mean, black fight fans were supporting him. Like when T.O. was coming up, man, he had the opportunity to really be the next big name in boxing. Seriously. Like people was really digging him. Like the post-fight freaking celebration and all that. People was really digging T.O. That's real talk. People was gravitating to him. He was getting all these sponsorships and shit like that. Hey, man, it was what it was. And then he started bucking the system. You know, he felt some type of way that his fight with with Vasily Lomachenko was going to be on free TV. He goes in there and he wins that fight. And that's his biggest win to date. Then it just all came crashing down like you're on a flight and you look out the window and the wing on fire. That's how it came down for T.O. I don't know what look, I don't knock the man for negotiating his contract with Lomachenko. Really, I don't. But he started to have a collision course with Top Rank. And whatever else that was happening, with him and his pops and Top Rank, they started to just act like they wasn't allies anymore. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to act like this was a war. Like he was going to take it by force. You're going to give me my $1 million+ by force. I'm going to take over the Top Rank headquarters. It didn't work out. It didn't work out, bro. So the monkey comments and the banana, I guess he's been forced to say, I mean, he's been put in a position where he didn't get enough viral moments. So now he has to double down and say, I'm gonna pretty much, when I was on It Is What It Is, I say, no, I was only talking about them two. But now, he want to make it seem like, hey man, it is what it is. Crawford's this, that, and the other. He's a monkey and this, that, and the other. So if you're gonna call Crawford a monkey, that means you calling black people in general. Now you're not making it just about him. You're singling out a fighter that's black, and you want to say, yeah, this monkey insult that I'm giving you is only pertaining to you. Sometimes in the sport of boxing, being insulting and disrespectful does get you the fight. But at this point, timing is everything, right? At this point, you have to ask yourself, is it in line? Seeing Crawford at the back end of his career doesn't make sense for Teofimo to be disrespectful the way he is. You have to ask yourself that. With him trying to get the big fights at the end of his career, did Teo fragment who he is and his fan base by doing this based off a fighter that's on their way out the door? Did he use his intelligence? Though right now it seems like that shit is running on fumes. But was he smart enough to use his intelligence to basically put himself out there? I mean, because, it comes with repercussions and consequences. So was the price to be racist and make those derogatory comments and be insulting, was it worth it to a fighter that's on their way out the door? I mean, you should have went at somebody like Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. You should have went at someone that's around your age so y'all can continue to try to blossom this rivalry. You fought George Kambosos twice, T.O. Then Haney came behind you and fought him twice. I mean, I'll take that back. You fought Kambosos once. Devin Haney fought Kambosos twice. He might not have got to the prize as fast as you did, but he ended up getting to the prize just as you did. You not fighting Devin Haney at lightweight for whatever reason, that was your decision. But on the flip side of that, Haney ended up benefiting more because he ran the whole entire table and cleaned it. When he just, when you had the opportunity, he still had the WBC belt out there. So you got to Kambosos first. Seeing Kambosos catapult Haney's career, he did just the opposite when you fought him. Kambosos pretty much blemished your career. He pretty much put a freaking notch, a nick, or, he put an X in your career because the way you look. He gave you your first loss. And look, Tio, nobody wouldn't have gave too much of a 2 cents if you would have lost to Lomachenko first. But you lost to Cambozo, who was coming off 2 split decision wins. He wasn't considered a high-end ranking fighter, to be honest with you. So you have to be mad at yourself for the decisions y'all made following the Lomachenko win. Because I look at it, if you're trying to, if you was the one that was up there criticizing Crawford, right? You and your pops was criticizing Crawford, coming off the Madrimov fight, that he was old and everything. But yet you're trying to convince the boxing fans that you want to fight Crawford because he say he's the best. And I want to fight the best. No, it can't be off who says they're the best. You have to recognize them as being the best. You have to recognize them as being the best. So which one is it? Is he one of the best in the sports? Yes, we can say that. So is he a monkey? That's the next question. Because you consider him to be lower than the stature of a human being. You don't want to provide him that common decency and respect, right? So now you want to just strictly put it on the monkey. And I said this before. You're in a sport of boxing where you don't see too many Honduran boxers. And a lot of people ignore the fact that you do represent Honduras. But over in there is still a lot of poverty in certain areas too. There's just not enough of them even in the sport of boxing. And then even if you try to freaking bring them on, I mean, it's not enough Honduran that can go off like saying, hey, I'm from Honduras, and they get respected by the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Mexicans. They don't have the same respect. I think you're feeling a lot of hurt, but if Crawford really wanted to go in on your people, on the Hondurans, from where you represent, the flag you carry, it'll be a slaughter because everybody know what the blacks, our history look like. Let's look at what your history is now. We got to look at what your history, your country, and what you're claiming now. You're not even doing anything from Honduras, but stand on topic. It was a point in time where I said, you know what? I want to see T.O., I want to see Crawford go over, but really I don't. Because I just think it would be too easy of a fight that Crawford to go in there and win. It's not going to be no Regis, Jack Catterall. It's not going to be any of that. It's not going to be you and Sando Martin. It's not going to be you and Jermaine Ortiz. Look, it's not even going to be freaking Crawford Madrimov. It's not like you're going to be able to sit there and wait for Crawford to come and give you that action. He's going to give you the action. But I think when you pouring this piss around, and trying to say, I'm going to mark my territory with derogatory comments, I think you need to just take a look at and track the pen first. Track the pen. What I mean by that, T.O., you need to track the pen as to why you haven't made $1 million on the contract. You need to track the pen. Your pen seemed like it cannot give you any type of evidence that everything that you did in such a short period of time has benefited you monetarily to make over $1 million and become a pay-per-view star. None of it. None of that shit. Track the pen there, T.O. None of it. You was able to goddamn beat Richard Comey in your 15th fight and Lomachenko in your 16th fight. But besides that, tracking the pen, what happened? Why haven't you blossomed into this huge superstar? You want to blame Top Rank? It's just a question. You want to blame Top Rank? Because now you're trying to clearly express you have a problem. Like you told Top Rank to keep the black fighters if you want them. But we can't track the pen on if black fighters stop you from making over $1 million. I mean, what black fighters were in the ring with you? That's what I can't understand, people. Can somebody explain that shit to me? How did black fighters impede Teofimo's freaking career when he was trying to elevate to a new height? How did we stop that? He fought Masayoshi Nakatani, then Richard Comey and beat him, and then Lomachenko, and we already know what played out. Where are the black fighters in some of his most notable wins? Where was the black fighters, though? You had Devin Haney right there in your division. You didn't want to fight him. Y'all, it was arguments all over the place. And, Bill and Lopez Sr. out there always arguing and bickering and shaking hands on the fight. And this shit never happened. Both of y'all at 140. Shit ain't close to happening. Why are y'all not rivals already? You know, Tiafimo, that's your black rival right there. WCS is gonna tell you today. That's supposed to be your black rival. All the shit I heard between your fathers, you and Devin Haney should have had 2 fights already. Y'all up here avoiding each other. Y'all both in y'all 20s. Stupid. If you want to talk and make this something into race when it comes to boxing, Devin Haney was supposed to be that guy. Y'all had history together, both unified champions at 135 pounds, both champions at 140, and no sign of even talking about fighting each other. Supposedly an offer was made. You don't even want to fight Devin Haney. Like, it's not like you ain't been on the canvas neither. But if you want to talk about monkeys, I mean, why don't you track the pen and sign that contract, you know, with a black fighter so you can build up that rivalry, since that's what you want in the media. If you want to damn criticize the black people in the media, find a black fighter to develop a rivalry with so you can make those millions that you're looking for. Crawford ain't it. He's on his way out the fucking door. You have black fighters at 147 pounds. You could have fought Blair to Flair. He'll talk it with you. He'll talk it and walk it. Yeah, Norman Jr. up there. You know, you can activate your WBO. You don't want to do that shit. You got Jaron Ennis up there. IBF. You don't even mention Jaron Ennis. I mean, you're an absolute clown right now, bro. You're trying to hold black people accountable for you not tracking your pen correctly, knowing that the contracts, you wasn't going to freaking net $1 million take home. But now you're trying to convince the people, hey, I want a big fight. I want a payday, when Crawford is on his way out the door. People don't believe it. Don't believe the hype, bro. This boxing shit can be unattractive. But it's people like T.O. that make it even uglier. It's people like him that's mad as if a black fighter stopped him from making $1 million. It's nobody black in T.O.'s life when it comes to boxing who have hindered T.O. from making a living. But yet, when desperate times call for desperate measures, Teofimo Lopez said, I want to target the blacks. Why? Because I saw what the damn attention that Ryan Garcia did. Hey, I'm going to tell you, buddy, you and Ryan Garcia ain't the same at the end of the day. Ryan Garcia is able to step in the ring and bring his company with him. I'm not saying what he said was any type of like, I'm not looking past it or anything. I'm not giving him an exemption. I'm not saying it's an exception to him, but I'm saying you look at it as like you're trying to dehumanize black people when you don't even have a rivalry on your box rec with any black fighters. And you had the ultimate opportunity to have that rivalry with Devin Haney. And you selected to go elsewhere. You selected to fight George Cambozo. You said when you lost, you thought you won 11-2. Why would you blame black people? I mean, that's like a question. I'm not even looking for an answer on that shit. I'm just saying that at this point in time, it was a lot of black people that fuck with you. And now hearing your foolish talk all the time, you know what I'm saying? How it seems like you want to make this about race. You want to drop all the aspersions to basically want to act like you want to dehumanize black people and put them on the same playing field as primates. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to look, just like I just told you, you being insensitive like that and disrespectful, it's not going to pack any more attention to your body of work or your portfolio to get you that freaking $1 million+ fight you're looking for. It's not going to do it. I mean, you went about it the wrong way. Like you really want to make it personal. When Crawford doesn't sign the contract, Crawford is not going to send you a freaking contract nor a term sheet. You understand me there, T.O.? He's not going to do any of that for you, bro. So I know what your intention was, to entrap someone and make it about race so you can sell that shit in a promo. But the fans ain't fucking with you like that, man. The fans is not fucking with T.O. like that. I would suggest for T.O. just to stay at 140 and try 40 or 47, move 47, and try to get the smoke there. If you're not willing to get the smoke there on a solid fight, then you might want to retire again. You're used to doing that, right? You retired already, right? Maybe you need to retire again. Because truth be told, I don't think you really want a Crawford fight. You know, outside of thinking that a second loss won't mean too much to you, I don't see you really want a Crawford fight. I think you just want the attention. I think you want the paycheck, and you feel that 2 losses is not going to serve you any different. You'll sit up here and reference Lomachenko. Well, you know, you win some, you lose some. Lomachenko, he has multiple losses, so we're good. You know what I'm saying? I really think Teofimo Lopez is not really worried about picking up his second L. He just want to go in there and get a paycheck to try to make some shit happen. You know what they say? Make some shit shake. He's trying to shake some shit up. He's hoping to go in there and try to land a shot on Crawford like Poirier landed on Holloway. He wants to be the first. Poirier was the first to stop Max Holloway. Teofimo want to be the first to defeat Crawford. That's all. He's desperately seeking the turn of the corner. He wants to turn the corner off the name of a fighter that he considered to be on the level of a monkey. Can you imagine that? He wants to make his career. He want to change up his career off the name of someone that he considered to be a monkey. When all he has to do is go to the motherfucking wilderness. He can go to the wilderness, a zoo. If he really want to beat up some true, real monkeys, I mean, there's plenty out there roaming around in packs. You know what I'm saying? So if you want a monkey to fight, there's plenty out there in the wild that you don't even have to sign a contract for. I mean, really, just for a tune-up fight, T.O. All you have to do is go out there for a tune-up fight. You beat their ass without the rest of their motherfucking people stumping you in the dirt. I mean, you might be good. You might be straight. And make sure somebody there to film it too. So you can bring this back to whoever you signed and show them, hey, I already got 5 tune-up. I know I got slurry speech, but I think it'll get better. The motherfuckers is strong. The motherfucker is strong. You come up there with slur of speech and find out the monkeys ain't nothing to fuck with, huh, there, T.O.? You goddamn access Teofimo's IG account after that. That shit gonna say out of service. Out of service. Let me get to the chat right quick, man. I don't want to take too much time on T.O. Shout out to Martin King Boxing in the building. Shout out to 908 in the building. Shout out to Christopher White in the building. What's going on with you? Salute. JD in the building. Carlos Rosado. What it do, man? I'm seeing you in a minute. But look, I know y'all got shit to do. I know. You know what I'm saying? Hope everyone is doing great out there, man. Those of you that's working and getting that check, supporting yourselves, providing a living for everyone that's dependent on you, even yourself. MKB say, if Lopez doesn't pursue this fight, he really does believe he was undisputed, and that makes Teofimo Lopez delusional. Like I always say, right? Them belts does not provide your residual income. The only benefit you get from those titles, since they do carry forward from division to division, is your performance and how you market yourself to the consumers. You know what I'm saying? The economics within the boxing environment, like it changes up all the time. Like if the sport was regulated, cool, but it's not regulated. So boxing can be seasonal sometime in every promotion. It can be seasonal. Everybody's budget is different. We seen that shit go down with PBC this year. Everything is seasonal. They don't have a primary source that they can go to like Turkey Al Sheikh. Turkey Al Sheikh's well is plentiful. You feel me? The way they're goddamn drawing up that shit it's not even a well. They're drawing oil. I mean, they have constant flow of that liquid monetary wealth. You know what I'm saying? So if we had that over here in the US, maybe boxing would be a whole different sport if they wasn't busy, concerned about boxers and what they're making and boxers saying I should be making this, that, and the other. I mean, if boxers were getting paid satisfying purses and was no complaining, would they fight the best if they had the opportunity? What if the pay was where it's supposed to be? Would boxers then fight the best if that was the case? Would they consistently fight the best if they was getting paid handsomely? I don't know. I would like to see that fight. Both Haney and Lopez are in hot grease. Yeah, man. Y'all heard what TGB. You heard what TGB said, right? Mason Cam really showed who they are, just rappers and no balls to call Lopez out for that crap he spewed. I have to absolutely line up with you on that, bro. I have to fall in ranks with that because when he said, nah, chill, I say that's when Cam really, I know Cam will go off on people. He said, no, you chill, man. You disrespecting the black people in general. You get on here, you trying to say, it's all about, my personality. Do I fit in with the culture? I'm T.O., man. We cool. You know who I am. I agree with you, MKB. They should have pressed him harder like they do other topics on there. They should have went harder. Mace, you too. Y'all was going heavy at motherfuckers to be calling you out and shit. But a cat like that, y'all want to say, oh, I ain't know this happened. I ain't know this happened. Yeah, sure you did. Sure you did, yo. Sure you knew he was up there being disrespectful. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, some more. What's good? Cannabis, education, and entertainment, TV. What's good with you, OG? How you feeling? Haynes Legacy in the building. What's good with it, Haynes? Salute to you, bro. Hope all is well. These boxers these days have no character, just kids who believe they got all the answers. Well, we're going to see in the next 6 months what's going to play out. Because that'll put us in April. We'll see what Ryan Garcia has lined up. Who is he going to fight, if anybody? I'm not going to continue to say that if T.O. wanted to, build up a rivalry, Haney was it. But also I'm telling Haney, if he wanted to build up a rivalry, this is the perfect storm for you. You can actually stand out there and not get wet in this one. You have one fight controversial. This is a 2-fight deal automatically. This is a 2-fight because you're gonna have all the testing that you need, no Osterine, everything gonna be clear. So the fans are like, hey, this should be a 50-50 fight. Now you should go over there and y'all should throw down. This has all the makings of 2 fights. And I'm not worried about the court situation because I don't think that shit gonna stick. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that shit gonna stick. I guess it's good attention. But for battery, fraud, and all that, I don't think it's gonna stick. When the language says net, vice gross, just like walking in the house on Thanksgiving and goddamn grandma cooking up them chitlins, just like, that smell like some shit. Ugh, what is that? Oh, what you talking about? You know, grandma got them chitlins in here. Oh, for real? You got the hot sauce, grandma? Yeah, you know I do. Homemade, that turkey jack. Yeah, I got that. Cranberry, collard green mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just when you walk in there, next month, those of you can understand what I'm talking about. And you smell that doo-doo smell. You know what I'm saying? For them chitlins, them chitterlings. You know what I'm saying? Black people today try to act like they don't fuck with the chitterlings. You know what I'm saying? But every now and then they do. Jerron or Rashidi will be eating Haney and Lopez for breakfast at welterweight. And don't even bring Rashidi Ellis in there because Rashidi Ellis, man. Rashidi Ellis can't keep a fight on his motherfucking radar. When that shit beep, 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 that shit quickly go out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Rashidi need to change the batteries in his radar, goddammit. Because he can't keep a fight on that bitch, man. He can't. But I'd like to see that fight. I can't say the brother can't fight. He can fight. I'd like to see that fight. I agree with that, MKB. I'd like to see that fight with at 147 with T.O. Rashidi Ellis. I'd definitely like to see that. But you know how that is with Jerron. His fans is waiting. I was over there the other day speaking, and that guy that called himself a Jerron and his fans say I'm always hating on Jerron. And that just goes to show you how the new generation don't accept someone like myself to say, I'm saying this in good faith, that you should work on your vocabulary. Because you're in a position where you need consumers to gravitate towards you to get you those big checks. You don't want to be 33, 35 years old, and they say you still not a draw. That's what I was trying to do with Jerron Ennis. But, you have some ignorant black people out here, man, that'll be quick to shit on their own people when it comes to corrections. Just say, hey, just work on your vocabulary. That's all. Because you are a boxer. You go to press conference. They want to hear you. The media wants to be able to talk to you like they want to talk to Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is inactive out of the ring, but goddamn it, he can sit there with Tim Tszyu, who's walking, and they can interview Keith Thurman, who's been out the ring. That's what I'm talking about. You want them to talk to you because Keith can get on there and talk the same shit, hairline saying bye-bye, and they still want to hear him on the mic. When these fighters sit up here and say they don't need the fans, they dumb as fuck. You're dumb. There's no other word to use it than to pretty much jettison your fan base to say you don't need the fans and you just want to strictly go off the promotion. Well, let's just say this. If you think you're going to get rich off a guarantee, then you better negotiate like a legend. You better negotiate like a legend, because I'm pretty sure fighters and all the blood, sweat, and tears they put in there, all the sacrifice, they definitely don't want to go their whole career just going off what their guarantee is, because the guarantee is not going to be no huge amount of money like you Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez will be fading out soon, just like Floyd. Floyd is still out here making money. He was able to reap all of what he needed from boxing. Even Canelo haven't been able to do that on Floyd's level, but he's there. And then when you look at Canelo, it's nobody else except Tank Davis that's remotely close to being a pay-per-view stardom. I'm just saying, it's like no two boxers that's in the sport right now that's consistently that can fight anybody they want to, and they're looking at 20 mil, 15, 20 mil. Easy, 15, 20 mil. Everybody on the undercard suffers. 15, 20 mil. Canelo have no problem with it. But for Jaron Ennis, all I was saying is he just needs to work on his comprehension, his vocabulary, because, you know, he be mumbling. And I understand you can talk to your boys that way. But when you get in front of that mic, I'm not saying for you to be, you know, proper like you in the education system, like you're a teacher or something. You know, just be energetic when you're energetic with your expressions. Stop saying the same thing. Okay, if stepping on them, you're gonna step on and trademark the shit. Do something. Make it some gear. I want to say, look, I want to see this guy improve, so people can stop saying that when it comes to him and his PR, he's one of the worst in the sport for the level that he's on. I mean, why are you doing it? Why would you go through boxing like this and not trying to, you know what I'm saying, soak in and sponge up all the damn monetary benefits you can? Why are you not willing to go the extra mile for PR, but yet you can get in fight camp and go through sparring and get hit in the head and go through all the physical rigors, but you don't want to just do the administrative shit, the curriculum shit when it comes to English, language, vernacular, verbiage? Shouldn't that be the easy shit? All you got to do is hire a motherfucking tutor, a PR, and help them improve your ineptitude. That's it. On a Brown on deck. What's good with it? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, man. You know, chillings are what they are. And that's and you know, they're about to get cooking. You know what I'm saying? They're about to get some cleaning and everything else. I won't forget what he said. He'd beat Karen like he was Mike Tyson. That didn't end like Ennis thought it would. Man, you know, when you try to suggest education to certain people, they look at it as an insult. It's not an insult. Like, you know, English is one of the most fragmented freaking languages. Real talk. And sometimes you get people that hang out in their own environment. This is real talk. You know, when I went in at a young age, right, I was used to hearing cats, you know, down here in the ATL speak a certain way. So I went in, when I was talking, they'd be like, "You from where again?" And I wasn't trying to talk proper I was speaking like I was now, but my rhythm and flow was the same, except, you know, it was just enhanced words, you know, learning a word a day, being able to insert it into a sentence, being able to flow with it. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a black kid from Georgia, right? And I end up being a briefer on shit going at the Pentagon, future and current operation in a room full of majority white officers. You know, the general was white, his assistant was white. And I'm up there speaking to these. I'm not sounding like Carlton. I'm up there speaking, and then you get people like, "Hey, great brief." You know what I'm saying? They don't want to insult me and say, "Oh man, you well spoken," but they'll say, "Oh man, you're well spoken." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. And then you don't have problems. Except your own people come up there and they'll try to shut you down to why you using big words and shit like that. So all I'm saying, you know, based off experience, I just want Ennis to do better with the PR. He don't have to damn sound like Carlton from Fresh Prince. But it's just like hip hop. It's just like rapping. You know what I'm saying? Just learn how to use them in your flow. It's just like putting bars together. Just learn it. That's all I'm saying, man. Just learn the shit, man. I mean, it's not an insult. Just learn it. So when you speak, you know, people tune in.
You want to flatter them. Flattery doesn't have to say, I want to change up my whole freaking character and persona. You know what I'm saying? Ah, man, I got to be somebody else. He want me to sound like, I'm on the French. He want me to sound like the butler. You know what I'm saying? He want me to sound like the butler. He want me to have a silver tongue. Anyway. Hey, big shout out to y'all, man. Salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game, man. We'll be back on a little later. Y'all continue to support the channel. Hit the like button. Big shout out to those who support by your attendance and support monetarily. I appreciate you. One love to everybody. I'm out. Peace.